Okay, before talking about the clear, there is one mechanic that is necessary to have a stable auto clear. We don't want any RNG on auto clear, and so we don't want the boss to spawn any more of these power-ups because they are random. And unless we can pick up all of them, which is incredibly hard, they will mess up any auto clear. The way to stop him from doing that is not really a strategy, but more of a feature, bug, something. I've seen it done in the challenge runs. I link the runs for the stage in the description, but pretty much it works like this. Every 30 seconds, the boss does that attack where he just drops an attack on one of your characters. After putting a red circle around them, that means it is locked in on that character. After dealing damage, he spawns the power-ups. What you can do is this. Deploy a faster deploy character. Wait for the red circle. This is it. As you can see, he didn't spawn anything. And now, if you deploy another character, he doesn't use the attack. See? If he doesn't use the attack, you have time to redeploy the fast redeploy.
Whatever you said, so many weaknesses.
And then, after 30 seconds, he will do this again. And you can just retreat to his character again. This is also stable in the auto clear. I tried it multiple times because I tried a few auto clears while developing the strategy. I never had problems with this being replicated in the auto clear, apart from one specific run where I think I was pretty tired and my reflexes were a bit slower. So if you are particularly slow in retreating the character, you could have troubles in the auto clear, but usually if you're quick enough, this works. The only thing is that it is a pain in the ass to do in the manual clear because you have to remember to do this throughout all the clear. There aren't really any indicators that the 30 seconds are over, so you have to keep focused for all the run. Okay. With that said, let's take a look at the team. Okay, the team I used is this one. The only member that you really can't change is Steward. If you want to do a clear that doesn't use Steward, just look for something else because I don't really think this works without Steward. Even if you take a caster that does a lot more damage, some stuff will change. Maybe Marsil skill 2 can more or less do the same thing. It is the only thing that I can think of. So, a healing defender, a defender with high defense, a pioneer vanguard. I added Myrtle because it's more comfortable for me to have more DP, but I don't think she's absolutely necessary. A fast redeploy, an area of effect caster, Ansel. Here, Ansel is a bit hard to substitute, but if you have a better healing defender or a better area of effect caster, you don't need Ansel. And you can just use any other medic. A second medic, any single target get caster, possibly a decent one. Moose or any art guard. Not absolutely necessary, but she makes things easier. And then this slot, it had to be podenco for me because I didn't have enough damage. But if you have a good caster, either single target or another area of effect caster, or if just this caster is a lot stronger, you don't even need this character. But otherwise, you can just add another caster or area caster for more damage. I had to use Podenco specifically to stabilize the clear because they don't have enough damage.
I'll come with you.
Okay, we look at the clear
No need to have cold
while
feet
it is
here.
going down in auto clear, because this way I can concentrate on talking.
We're counting on you
Start
again
deploying
today,
your
little
characters,
apple.
then
That's it.
you want to accumulate a bit of DP. I usually deploy the second round of characters after using the second the skill with Myrtle the second time. It was a good timer for me.
Counting on you again today,
Here, as you
little
can see,
apple.
I bait the attack of a circle and then I deploy everyone. If you have a character that costs more DP because you're using stronger characters, you can wait a few more seconds after using Myrtle skill so that you have more DP. Then we bait the red circle attack again, and we finish deploying the remaining characters. The healing defender here, and the defender here.
Today, little apple.
At this point the setup is complete, and we just have to wait for the boss to die. Here answer is fundamental, because he's the only one that can help spot here from here, apart from silence. But if this caster is stronger, or if his healing defender is stronger, you won't need this extra heal. You have to pay attention to keep alternating between answer skill and spot skill to do this.
Even the dead can't
These
see.
enemies only start doing more damage when they are below health, but since Stuart only attacks the enemy with Aegis defense, Stuart will only keep attacking the boss, so this won't do more damage, and Beagle can stall them forever. This caster instead can be anyone, and the Moose is not actually necessary. Oh yeah, here you have to deploy Gravel a bit later, because otherwise this enemy will kill it before it baits the boss. And we are done. Now we just wait for Stuart to kill. This caster can be anyone else. Stuart has to be Stuart because of the targeting, and Moose is actually not strictly necessary. Here we start deploying for the second part. Moose is not necessary because Stuart and Days alone can beat the boss, but it takes a lot longer, and since this run is a bit annoying to do because you have to keep focus on Gravel to reach later in time and pay attention to spot skill, spot self, the faster you beat the boss, the better it is. So that's why I added Moose. But Haze can do it with Ferret's Shred. After beating all the enemies on the top lane, she starts focusing on the boss and they do it in time. Now, the second part is a gigantic problem. Here, as soon I have to reset Steward because I need to redeploy him up here. This part is actually the hardest one for the auto clear, because since the first part is so long and there aren't really any skills that, okay, activate the skill and this kills everything, the timing for the enemies of the second part can vary a bit. I have noticed like a couple of seconds, sometimes even more, of difference in when these enemies spawn. So all this setup is to make sure this works no matter if the enemies spawn early or late. If you have more damage, you don't have to worry, you will just kill them anyway, no matter when they spawn.
Got it.
Now, you have to activate Beagle skill when this enemy is almost upon air. Okay, notice this. In the manual run, I activated this skill when this thing was pretty much upon Beagle. This means that this time the enemies spawned a bit late. Why do you need Beagle skill? Because when the armor spawns, it does specific attack that if Beagle doesn't have the skill active, it may end up damaging Ansel and killing Ansel, and without Ansel, the top lane just goes down. Okay, now
Can heal that wound in no time.
the idea here is that when pretty much when the first enemy is dead in the mono run, I activated the skills from everyone. In this case, because the enemies are late, the skills got activated a bit late. but it doesn't matter too much. Just in the manual run, remember to activate the skills after the first enemy is dead, so that you can account for, these changes in timing. If you activate the skills as soon as you see the first enemy, when the enemies are late, you will activate them so early that they won't kill this enemy. Now, the spore from Podenco, I actually activated it when the enemies were here, between these two tiles. This is the most important thing. Since Podenco's skill just slows down all the enemies, no matter where they are, as long as they are in range. By activating the skill when they're here, I'm sure I will hit them, whether they're late, whether they're early, and I will delay the timing with which they arrive to spot. Okay, then you absolutely want to break this barrier before this guy gets to spot. I activated answer skills slightly earlier to account for, early enemies. The bottom lane is covered, no problem. Then, as you will see, I will throw down Fang here pretty early, because again, you can't know if you want to block this enemy. You can't know if it will be early or late. I usually throw down Fang as soon as this enemy passes this square. If the enemies are late, Fang will also block this enemy, it's not a problem. If the enemies are early, they are never early enough that Fang will miss this one. So it doesn't. That's the correct timing for me. Okay, as you can see, this gravel is here now. That seems nonsense, but that's because the enemies were really late. Okay, and now we have spot skill that's covering for everything. Now, in your manual run, remember that even if you kill the enemy,
Don't
leave
get
your
carried
units
away.
here a bit longer, because it may take more time. At this point, this enemy was already dead, but I still activated Podenco's skill without any target, because I knew that the enemy could be there longer. Okay, and then Moose just finishes everything. I know it's very weird to see, but the point is that you have to do a run where you won't know the exact timing of the enemies, and you have to account for every possible timing. Obviously, if you have enough damage in the upper lane, you can just ignore timing,
Safe here.
and everything that comes here will die before touching your defender.
You'll regret this.
Mission accomplished.
I foresaw this result earlier. A perfect victory.